everybody, and thank you for joining us again on another fine episode of Reinforce the Horse. I'm Jason, and I'm here with my trusty host, Miss Alyssa, and her fantastic Mustang mare, Willow. And we have a special announcement today. We're talking about Willow paints. So, Alyssa, tell us a bit more about your new venture with your Mustang there.
Willow is a very creative artist. She loves to, as many of you may know, she loves to perform, but she also loves to express her creativity through art, through painting. And so she legitimately understands that if I put a canvas in front of her, put some paint on it, give her the paintbrush, which she holds in her mouth, and she will paint a picture. With minimal help. I just pretty much have to provide the paint for her, and she does the rest. She's over here trying to get reinforced. She knows exactly what's going on. She's okay, you have the canvas in front of me. How about you put it down, and how about we paint a picture?
And we're ready to paint. So as you're kind of working on a painting with her, I figure we'll just ask you some questions and you could kind of explain more about how this started. So where did it start from? I mean, a lot of horses, or I don't know any other horses, maybe a couple that I've seen now on pictures or whatever, but you don't really see too many horses painting pictures.
Well, the idea stemmed from a wonderful teacher through the HCA course. Her name is Cassie Miller. She in her intro video to the Horse Human Connection Academy by Mustang Maddie, she was introducing herself and her horse, and in one of the clips her horse was painting, and that was like one of the most amazing things I think I had ever seen. I was like, hold on a second, this horse is legitimately painting a picture. And I, at that time a year ago, starting the HCA, I never thought I would be able to teach that behavior. But just, a few months ago, Willow started showing, she's a very mouthy horse. She likes to put her mouth on things, which is, it's fantastic. And so she started putting things in her mouth, and I wasn't cueing her to do it. She just started randomly picking up brushes that were easy for her to hold. And I was like, wait a minute, that seems like a fantastic way to teach her how to paint. And so we bought some paints and some paint brushes and a sketchbook, 11 by 14 inch sketchbook, so it makes it at least a little easier for her to see. I got some canvases, and we started a business called Willow Paints. And the idea through the business is, as you may know, we have our horses in pens right now. Every so often,
she's really wanting to start painting, huh?
She is.
Well, let's get that rolling, and you could keep kind of describing what's going on as you do that. And for those of you just listening on the podcast, we do have this out on YouTube at Reinforce the Horse. If you wanted to check out a video of Willow doing the painting here. And so right now she's putting a brush in her mouth, and she's going to start painting with some yellow. Very good, Willow. That's beautiful. And so what I find fascinating about this is that you've kind of partnered with her as artists.
Yeah.
And so can you describe about, how you guys paint a picture together? Like, what's your individual jobs?
So, well, my role in the painting is to provide her the paint. I am treating her. Eventually, we'll get to the point where treats won't be necessary. But as of right now, she's still fairly new to this. She just put a nose smudge on the painting.
Yeah.
So she's got...
She likes to paint with her lips sometimes.
She loves to paint. But I try my very hardest not to touch the painting until it's finished. Excuse you.
But you might do some rotation of the canvas or something like that to get different brush strokes and stuff.
Provide the paint for her. Make sure the brush is clean in case it touches the ground, because we don't need her ingesting any sand.
So what I find really fascinating watching her do this is that it seems like she really understands that the brush goes to the canvas.
Yeah.
And it does seem like an artistic expression to me.
It's
It's just like
amazing.
she even kind of like looks at it as to like, oh, what's going on?
And though at first she was not as like willing to put the paint on the canvas. She wanted to, put the paint everywhere else. But through a little, positive reinforcement training, she quickly learned to understand that the paint goes on the canvas. And she now paints beautiful pictures, and now she's trying to paint me.
So what is your idea or your goal for I guess the business side of things?
Definitely making Willow and Cody's life and our future equine friends as positive and natural as possible. And
okay, so tell me more about that. You're talking like the infrastructure and stuff like that requires funding. And so for those of you who don't know, Alyssa is 16, going on about 25 at least years old. And she's, I don't know, very entrepreneurial and just kind of thinking outside the box. So when she started painting, I was like, hey, might be a good idea to create some sort of gift bag or something with these paintings. And then off she went and kind of crafted this Willow paints idea. And tell me more about the pay from the heart idea that you came up with.
The pay from the heart idea is one of my favorite business ideas. It allows you to pay what you believe it's worth to you. And I love that idea because it's not, we're not just a business trying to make money to make money. I mean, as a 16-year-old, I have very little expenses that I have to pay for. I do have another job, and for that reason, and also we wanna benefit Willow in this too, or I want to benefit Willow. She's the one doing all the art, and so all the funds that come from all of you wonderful customers will be going toward Willow and Cody's new grazing pen and their food and vet bills eventually. I mean, all sorts of things, but I won't be taking any of it for myself. And so I feel like that's a great way of, like Willow's getting her portion and her job too. You like that idea? Yeah.
And so you have some other ideas on perhaps maybe bringing new horses home and that sort of thing. So that'll kind of all play into the mix as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. She seems to be really excited this morning to paint.
She is really excited to paint. She's not too thrilled that I'm paying attention elsewhere.
Right.
Which...
Well, and as we've talked about a number of times before, horses are kind of like, they love being present.
Yeah.
And they love when we are present with them. And so if we have something going on, even just a conversation like this, it takes us out of being really focused on them. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what are some of Willow's favorite colors, or tell us more about how Willow sees colors, perhaps?
So horses see colors, they see blue and yellow the best from how I understand it, and I believe they can see green as well. They don't have as wide of a color spectrum as we humans do. And so Willow naturally picks blue, which is a really interesting thing. Like, I've never known a horse to, just like enjoy a color as much as she enjoys blue. I have heard of, teaching your horse to tell colors apart, but from my experience in setting up random colors and asking her to pick, she almost always picks blue. First or second, like it's one of the first colors that she picks. And so we've come to see that Willow really enjoys blue, and from here on out we want to Willow and I want to incorporate blue in every painting if we can. And that's just her little signature. But so since they can see blue and yellow the best, we figured we'd do a blue and yellow painting today. And oh, thank you. And it allows her to kind of see a painting through my eyes in a way. She can see all the color that's on here, and and she created that.
So do you think every horse can learn to paint? And I know that's a very broad question, but or do you think it would be beneficial for horses to learn to paint? Like, what's the benefit of it?
I think that there's a ton of benefit. What are you doing? I think there's a ton of benefit in teaching them to paint, because not only does it allow them to get comfortable with other objects such as paint, so new smells, and paper, which is white, and some horses just get really scared at white. It allows them to practice moving in a different way, but it also helps them get comfortable with things in their mouth. So if you ever want or need to bit your horse up or put a bit in their mouth for any reason, I feel like the painting will help make that a positive thing for them.
So when you first started with this, she was actually kind of afraid of just the white piece of paper, right?
Yeah. And so it took some positive reinforcement training skills to help her get comfortable with the paper, and the sound that it makes in the wind, and even the smell of the paints, because horses' smells are stronger than ours.
And so for those who are listening, like, well, horses can't be around paint and stuff like that, tell us, like, well, what paints are you using right now, and do you have some ideas for maybe some other products in the future? Or?
Yeah, so I did some research prior to buying the paints, just to make sure it wasn't putting her nose in any danger. From what I found out, acrylic is not something you want to use, and so and this recommended brand, it's called the Tempura. It's gentle. It's typically used in schools, so it's really gentle on the skin.
For like kids, kindergarten type stuff, yeah.
And so if it does get on her nose, which it does, and of course I'm watching for any reaction that I don't like. I know that she's not gonna get harmed with it. But there is another product that I am excited to try. It's the my real milk paints.
Yeah.
And it's a natural based milk paint, which, I mean, it's food safe and animal safe, and so I think if she were to ingest that paint by accident, it would be safer for her than if she ingested some of this.
Very cool. And how do you know when she's finished with a painting?
If she's legitimately done with the painting, she'll... Oh, okay, I hear you. Right now, she's agitated because I'm not giving her my full attention.
Right, and so describe that agitation a bit. Like, how do you know she's agitated?
Well, she's pawing, which is one of, that's her big one. If she's agitated, she'll start pawing. She's moving things around. She's getting in my face, and she's like, hey, pay attention.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pause it here, and then we'll come back after she's done a bit of painting.
That sounds good.
All right, so we're back, and Willow has painted a very beautiful picture. And of course, all these photos or all these paintings are quite abstract. But you've been going through and just kind of glancing at them and picking out titles for them, right?
Giving them names, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so this one I plan to call it something either through Willow's eyes or through the horse's eyes, simply because these are all colors Willow can see. What is that? Is that yellow and blue and green?
That's really neat. And so tell us a bit like how everyone can find you in Willow painting. Where can they look at the gallery and
So we have
place their orders and stuff like that?
We have a website called it's willowpaints.com, and you can find us there, our about info, our gallery, and everything else. We are also going to be putting an ad on Facebook for it, but and it'll be in the YouTube bio and such. But are you enjoying that? Let's getting sketches.
Willow's just getting some love right now.
This is my favorite. She's absolutely loving these scratches.
Yeah.
Love the scratches. Love the scratches. But willowpaints.com is where you can find us.
Willowpaints.com. We have right now, what do you have? 11 by 14 paper and 11 by 14 canvas.
Yes, and then
paintings.
there's a gift idea, or a customized gift package where you get a painting and a personalized video greeting along with the video that comes with, or the video that of Willow painting your perfect picture.
Very cool. So again, guys, we're here with Alyssa and Willow, willowpaints.com, and you can get all of the extra details there and order your own Willow Paints painting.
Yes.
And we'll see you around.
Thanks so much for watching and listening.
Have a great day.